The rescue of the parasitic rabbit. In a lush, green forest, there lived a small, playful white rabbit named Bong. Every day, Bong would hop through the soft grass, nibbling on young leaves, and playing with his friends. The forest was full of vibrant colors, and the air was fresh, making it a perfect paradise for Bong and his companions. But one day, something changed. Bong, who was usually full of energy, began to feel weak. His fur, once soft and shiny, became patchy and dull. His eyes, which had always sparkled with life, now looked tired and glassy. He could no longer hop around freely as he once did. His friends started to notice the strange behavior and became concerned. Bong had no idea what was wrong with him. He thought it might just be the cold winds of winter or perhaps a little tiredness. However, as days passed, his condition worsened. He lost his appetite and spent most of the day lying in his little burrow, too weak to do anything. The young rabbit didn't understand that a dangerous parasite had invaded his body and was silently draining his life force. The animals of the forest soon noticed that something was wrong with Bong. The birds stopped singing their usual happy tunes, and the squirrels, who loved to play tag with him, started looking around in worry. Something had to be done. Among the creatures of the forest, there was one who was known for his wisdom and vast knowledge of herbal medicine: Old Owl. Perched high in his tree, Old Owl had seen many things in his long life. He had helped countless animals with their ailments, and the animals trusted him like a wise doctor. One afternoon, as Old Owl flew by Bong's burrow, he noticed the small rabbit lying on the ground, looking more frail than ever. The owl immediately landed beside him. "Bong, what's wrong with you?" Old Owl asked in his hooting voice. Bong looked up weakly. "I don't know, Old Owl. I feel so tired, and my body hurts. My fur is falling out, and I can barely eat anything." Old Owl examined Bong carefully, his sharp eyes noticing the signs of something sinister inside the rabbit's body. "It's worse than I feared," said Old Owl, his voice grave. "You've been infected with parasitic worms. These parasites are feeding off your energy and draining the life from you. If we don't act quickly, you might not survive." Bong's eyes widened in horror. He had never imagined something like this could happen to him. He wanted to ask what he could do, but Old Owl had already started explaining. "There is a cure, but it's not easy to get," Old Owl said. "There's a rare herb called wild wormwood that can help you fight off these parasites. It grows deep in the Gray Swamp, a place filled with danger and obstacles. You must go there and bring back the herb, or the parasites will keep feeding on you." The Gray Swamp was known for being a treacherous place. It was filled with poisonous creatures, dangerous snakes, and thick, murky waters. Many animals had heard of it, but few dared to enter. It was the kind of place that only the bravest would venture. The forest animals gathered around Old Owl, all of them worried about Bong. They knew how important it was for him to get better, but none of them had the courage to face the dangers of the Gray Swamp. It was then that one brave soul stepped forward. Red Wolf, a fierce and courageous warrior, was known across the forest for his strength and fearlessness. Despite his wild reputation, Red Wolf had a soft spot for the vulnerable and would always protect those in need. "I will go," Red Wolf declared boldly. "I will find the wild wormwood and bring it back to Bong." The other animals were shocked. "But the Gray Swamp is full of dangers," one of them said. "You could get hurt or worse." Red Wolf simply nodded, his eyes determined. "I know the risks, but Bong is my friend, and I can't let him suffer like this. I'll do whatever it takes to save him." Without wasting another moment, Red Wolf set off on his journey to the Gray Swamp. The path was long and difficult. The air grew thick and damp as he approached the swamp. The ground beneath him was soft and spongy, making each step feel like a struggle. Red Wolf's sharp senses were on high alert, knowing that danger could strike at any moment. As he made his way deeper into the swamp, he encountered Black Mamba, a venomous snake that slithered out from the shadows. Red Wolf knew better than to underestimate the snake's speed and poison. He carefully sidestepped, avoiding the creature's strike, and continued on his path. The swamp seemed endless. The trees were twisted and gnarled, their roots sticking out of the ground like claws. The sounds of croaking frogs and buzzing insects filled the air. It was an eerie place, but Red Wolf pressed on, knowing that time was running out for Bong. Finally, after what seemed like hours of searching, Red Wolf spotted a patch of bright green leaves emerging from the swampy water. It was the wild wormwood. He carefully approached the plant and, using his sharp claws, gently harvested the leaves and roots. With the herb in his possession, Red Wolf wasted no time in making his way back. His muscles were sore, and his body was covered in mud, but he didn't stop. He knew that Bong needed him, and he would not fail. After an exhausting journey, Red Wolf finally returned to the forest. He presented the wild wormwood to Old Owl, who quickly began to prepare the medicinal remedy. The owl mixed the herbs and carefully brewed a healing potion. Once it was ready, Old Owl poured the medicine into a small bowl and brought it to Bong. "Drink this, little one," Old Owl said softly. "It will help you fight the parasites." Bong, though weak, took the potion without hesitation. The bitter taste made him wince, but he could feel the strength returning to his body almost immediately. Over the next few days, his health began to improve. His fur grew back, his energy returned, and the dullness in his eyes disappeared. The forest animals were overjoyed to see Bong back to his old self. They cheered and celebrated his recovery, and Bong was filled with gratitude. He turned to Red Wolf and said, "I owe my life to you. You risked everything to save me. Thank you, my friend." Red Wolf smiled, his heart warm. "It was nothing, Bong. Friends take care of each other. That's what matters." From that day on, Bong and Red Wolf became the best of friends. Their bond was stronger than ever, and the other animals in the forest often looked to them as an example of how true friendship could overcome any obstacle. And so, the story of the rescue of the parasitic rabbit spread throughout the forest, becoming a tale of courage, sacrifice, and the power of friendship. Bong, the little rabbit who once lay weak and helpless, had been saved not only by a brave warrior but also by the love and support of the entire forest community. The animals knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, as long as they worked together, they could face anything. They would always protect each other, just as Red Wolf had done for Bong. In the heart of the forest, under the shade of the great oak tree, they lived happily ever after, united in their bond of friendship and kindness. The end.